Welcome back to the Texas State University Women Entrepreneurship Founder Series. Let's rejoin our conversation with Adrianna Cantu, the founder and CEO of Revealix. I certainly, that is something that is important, and enjoying that diversity and embracing that, and differences. And another thing is finding your authentic self. We've heard from a number of other people about, it's relationships that make things happen in the network, and that has to be built upon your authentic self.
Right.
And your ability to be comfortable sharing that as well.
Yeah. That word authenticity has been, if I can think of, it's that at the core, that has allowed me to finally sort of come into my own, because I think many of us, it's not an unfamiliar story. It's like you question, like, well, where is my strength? What do I do with what I've, brought to this world? And, in my decades, I've come to a place where I've realized, okay, if this is what I'm good at, and this is what I have, and this is how I think, and this is how I don't think, I know what I'm not great at. What impact can I have in the world? And so this is it. I'll put it into this work, and I hope to make an impact. But it's being able to be authentic to myself. But then the people that I have around me, you look for and you seek out those who are also authentic, and you can find the ones that are not, and that they can go their own way.
So that is certainly something that you look for in your team members and partners. Can you talk a little bit about forming those teams and forming those relationships? Because we know you can't do everything yourself, just like you said before, but how to find that right co-founder or partner?
Yeah, well, the authenticity is huge, and being able to be vulnerable. That means that you have to trust. The element of trust is really the foundation. And that's been something I've had I've had some issues where it didn't work out. That wasn't the right fit. And so we've, changed those relationships. But the core of it has been the trust. And so my partner now, who's our chief technology officer, even during our early interviews, a lot of that early conversation was just a ability to feel very comfortable liking the other person. Very different. I mean, he's an engineer, and I didn't grow up with any engineers, and even there's a language barrier sometimes between non-engineers, and so, but we connected, and it was just this common foundation of being authentic, being able to be. I mean, we shared enough that was like, okay, we felt like we had enough trust in one another to get into the business together. And my co-founder, who I originally started the company with, unfortunately has passed away. It was that initial trust, and it was on a handshake. We started the company, and it, who he was persistent throughout the whole thing. He was a wonderful man, very generous, very authentic, and that is what matters. You can solve so much because you have to go through some challenging times as a founder, and sure, you need to know that the person next to you is ready to dig in and figure it out.
With you and alongside of you. And, can you talk a little bit about certainly those connections and making that connection through in a virtual world has become much harder with COVID. And I know for a number of our students, they understand the value of networking, but it becomes much harder in a virtual world reaching out to somebody. Do you have any kind of suggestions or how you've navigated that process in this COVID pandemic?
Well, I mean, one thing to think about is to not feel like you have to be completely put together and then ready. Like, I know the 3 things I want to ask, and I have a plan, and that the other person is going to expect you to have all your ducks in a row. So I think back to the authenticity, is enough to say, I am interested in learning a little bit about, this. I understand that you have, expertise. I'm not sure if that's the direction I want to go, but could you talk through what that was like for you, just so that I can, hear. And to be honest and saying, I don't know if this is right for me, or I don't know what I'm trying to ask, but I know that I have an interest. Would you be willing to share just 15 or 20 minutes to talk through that? So I think feeling comfortable enough to ask someone just to say, would you be willing, to spend 15 or 20 minutes with me for this purpose? And, knowing that you don't have to be put together, but then, respect that person's time and stay within the 15 to 20 minutes. So those are, you have to ask. And I remember, I don't know who said it, but the statement was, you have to ask, because if you don't, you already have a no. So go ahead and ask. So the way that I think about it now is I need to, get more people into our platform, since we're just now launching, and being able to reach out to physicians who don't know me and just saying, this is what we're doing, but it's a sales thing. You still have to be comfortable enough to put yourself out there to get a yes or a no. So I see it the same way. It's, it's still sales, trying to get from point A to B, being comfortable enough to reach out and believe in that.
That is very, very good advice. And I think we will say thank you very much for all of your advice and for your sharing your story. It means a lot. And I know that there are a number of people that can learn a lot from it. And we wish you and Revealix all the best going forward. And if there's ever anything that we can do at Texas State and the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we're happy to help. So thank you for joining us today, and we appreciate it.
Well, Jan, thank you again for having me participate, and I wish you guys all success as well.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.